Hello, fellow educators. Welcome back to AI for Teachers. This is your friend, Harvey Spencer. Our last episode explored the transformative milestones in AI's rich history. Today, we're diving into two branches of AI: deep learning and reinforcement learning. Have you ever wondered how AI could make your teaching more effective? What if you could automate the grading of handwritten assignments with near-perfect accuracy? Would that change your teaching approach? How about creating a personalized learning path for each student in your class? Have you ever wondered if AI could make your online lessons as engaging as in-person classes, or help identify students at risk of falling behind? These pressing questions and more will be answered in today's episode. We'll zero in on two fascinating but often misunderstood concepts: deep learning and reinforcement learning. Why both, you ask? Because understanding these AI technologies could open doors to incredible possibilities in your classroom. We're talking about automating the grading process, personalizing learning paths, and more. So get ready, friends, because we're diving into the future of teaching. You have probably heard the term deep learning thrown around, maybe in tech blogs or a professional development seminar. Let's break down deep learning and how it can be incorporated into your teaching toolkit. What is deep learning? Deep learning is a type of machine learning that excels at pattern recognition. When we say it helps computers improve over time through learning, think of it like this. You know how the more your students interact with a subject, the better they understand it? They make mistakes, get feedback, and adapt. That's pretty much how deep learning works for computers. Deep learning algorithms, like students who take multiple quizzes on a topic, go through practice runs with data. Initially, they might make mistakes, misclassifying an image or misunderstanding a spoken phrase, but it gets interesting here. The algorithm learns from these errors. It adjusts its own thought process to improve its future performance. So, over time, it becomes more accurate, insightful, and valuable. This is particularly relevant to us educators because the more data the algorithm processes, the better it becomes at tasks like recognizing which students may need help in specific subject areas, or even automating the grading process. In other words, deep learning algorithms are like students who learn from their mistakes. The more data they process, the better they become at their tasks. This is why deep learning algorithms are used in various fields, including education. But you might wonder, what technology makes these advanced systems possible? Let's get into the nitty-gritty of deep learning. What powers deep learning? The cornerstone of deep learning is neural networks. These computational models enable computers to process information similarly to the human brain. In a neural network, data undergoes a structured journey through layers of nodes or checkpoints. The data is subjected to specific mathematical operations at each node. This step-by-step process is crucial. The initial layers often focus on identifying basic patterns, like shapes in an image. As the data moves through the network, each layer refines its analysis, enabling the identification of increasingly complex patterns. By the time the data reaches the final layer, the neural network has conducted a multi-stage, intricate analysis, informing its decisions. For example, if you're using educational software that recommends reading materials based on each student's academic performance, a neural network would process various data points like quiz scores, time spent on different subjects, and revisit frequencies. This multi-layered analysis allows the system to tailor its recommendations to suit each student's unique needs. The real power of this technology lies in its ability to process information for every student in your class in real time and with high accuracy. This opens up a world of possibilities: individualized learning paths, effective interventions, and some free time for you to focus on the more creative and human aspects of teaching that no machine can replicate. As we marvel at how technology can enrich our teaching, let's pivot to a challenge that's been the bane of many educators' existence. Ah, yes, the never-ending pile of handwritten assignments. A daunting task that often leaves us navigating through a maze of indecipherable scribbles and doodles, questioning our sanity. Ready to discover how deep learning could be your grading game changer? How can deep learning rescue you from the grading abyss? Imagine it's a Sunday evening, and you're swamped with paper assignments that form towering monuments on your desk. Each stack is a silent testament to your students' diligence and your upcoming grading marathon. Your fourth cup of coffee is cooling off, your hand is cramping, and you're wondering whether your job description includes deciphering hieroglyphics. We've all been there, and let's be honest, it's not the most enjoyable part of teaching. What can Gradescope do for teachers? Gradescope is an AI tool that acts like the teaching assistant you've always wished for. Equipped with deep learning algorithms, this platform can efficiently sift through handwritten assignments, complex equations, and even the sporadic doodles that inevitably appear on student work. But it doesn't stop there. Gradescope offers automated grading for multiple choice, fill in the blank, and even coding assignments. Plus, it provides insightful analytics to help you understand where your class might need extra attention. How does Microsoft's AI-powered tools revolutionize grading? Microsoft's suite of AI tools takes grading to another level. Not only does it use optical character recognition, OCR, to make handwritten text machine-readable, but it also employs specialized algorithms to evaluate the content. It checks for relevance, consistency, and creativity, essentially acting as an extra pair of highly specialized eyes that can sift through hundreds of papers in a fraction of the time it would take you manually. You might wonder, what do actual classrooms say about these technologies? Great question. While the full impact of these tools varies depending on how they're implemented, studies have shown promising results. In some cases, these AI tools even helped narrow the equity gap among students. So we're not just talking about convenience here, but making education more equitable. So remember, when you're up late grading papers and feel like you're the only one fighting that battle, you're not alone. AI-powered tools are here to help. But what if I told you that AI could do more than just help you grade faster? What if it could help you teach better? This brings me to an intriguing question from Melissa, a primary school teacher in Sydney, through our aiforteachers.au website. Is there a type of AI that can make learning as fun and engaging as a video game? Well, Melissa, let's delve into that. Deep learning has been the star of the show so far, but there's another form of AI that's equally groundbreaking: reinforcement learning. And this is where things get interesting. Now, before we get into the nitty-gritty of reinforcement learning, have you ever used a point-based reward system in your classroom to encourage good behavior and performance? If you have, you're already halfway to understanding RL. In a point-based reward system, students are given points for completing tasks or behaving in a desired way. These points can be redeemed for rewards, such as extra recess time or a special privilege. Reinforcement learning is similar, except that the student is an agent, and the rewards are often more abstract, such as improving the performance of a task or learning a new skill. The goal of reinforcement learning is for the agent to learn to take actions that maximize its rewards. To do this, the agent must explore its environment and learn which actions lead to which outcomes. Over time, the agent will learn to take the actions that lead to the most rewards. This is how reinforcement learning can train agents to perform complex tasks, such as playing games or controlling robots. What is reinforcement learning, and how can it change your classroom? Imagine a toddler learning to walk. Each step is a calculated risk, each stumble a lesson learned. This process of trial and error, of learning from doing, is the essence of reinforcement learning. In RL, algorithms make decisions, observe the outcomes, and adjust their future actions accordingly. It's like having a student in your classroom who's continuously adjusting, learning from mistakes, and improving. Think about your classroom for a moment. You're already doing human reinforcement learning. You observe your students, evaluate their performance, and adapt your teaching methods. But what if you had an AI-powered adaptive classroom assistant to do this at a scale and speed impossible for a single human? Imagine this assistant observing how students interact with the material and adapting in real time, Did they excel at algebra, but stumble on geometry? The assistant takes note and modifies the next set of questions accordingly. This isn't some futuristic concept. It's already happening. Platforms are using RL to adapt quiz questions based on students' performance. If they're breezing through the quiz, the difficulty level ramps up. If they're struggling, it scales back. The goal is to challenge each student at the right level, maximizing their learning potential. Now, if you're a teacher looking to get your feet wet in the world of RL, there are plenty of resources and platforms to explore. Have you ever heard of DeepMind Lab? It's a 3D learning environment where researchers study complex problems using RL. Then there's OpenAI Gym, a toolkit for developing and comparing RL algorithms. For those who are into gaming, Unity ML Agents is another intriguing platform. It enables games and simulations to serve as environments for training intelligent agents. Imagine a real-time video game that adjusts its difficulty level based on how well you're playing. That's RL in action. And for the tech-savvy educators among us, there are also open-source libraries like RayRLlib and TensorForce, which offer high-level and low-level APIs for those who want to dive deep into the coding aspect of RL. Let's take it a notch higher. Platforms already use RL to adapt real-time quiz questions based on student performance. Your students are no longer just answering questions, they're interacting with a system that evolves based on their performance. The future of personalized learning is here, and RL is at its core. So, take a moment to think. How could an RL-based system change how you teach? While AI can handle data analysis and pattern recognition, you remain the emotional and ethical backbone of the classroom. RL doesn't replace the human touch. It enhances it, giving you the tools to be an even more effective educator. You don't have to take my word for it. Teachers participating in pilot programs using RL-based systems have reported significant student engagement and performance improvements. The real-world applications are not confined to research papers. They make tangible classroom differences. If this has piqued your interest, I encourage you to explore more. Numerous studies, articles, and even pilot programs seek participating schools. Why not leap and become a pioneer in this exciting new field? So, we've unpacked the complexities of reinforcement learning and its potential to make your classroom more dynamic. But let's get more personal. Have you ever felt like you're teaching to the average, unable to give each student the individualized attention they deserve? Are you stuck in a one-size-fits-all teaching loop? Have you ever had that moment when you realize that your lesson plan isn't resonating with all your students? We've all been there, haven't we? Standing in front of a class with diverse learning needs, trying to make a lesson relatable to everyone. It's like trying to put square pegs into round holes. It's not your fault. Our education system has long operated on a one-size-fits-all approach. While a one-size-fits-all approach may work for sock sizes, it could be better for education. Students have different paces, styles, and preferences for learning, and manually addressing all these nuances can be arduous for teachers. Jack excels in mathematics but struggles in literature. Vilma is the opposite. And let's not even start with Tim, the daydreamer who's physically present but mentally in a galaxy far, far away. Teaching is often like juggling. But what if you had an extra pair of hands? Could adaptive learning be your classroom's unsung hero? Imagine a world inside your classroom where each student is on a learning journey designed just for them, a path that adjusts in real time to their evolving needs. No, this isn't a concept from an imaginative novel. It's the reality in modern classrooms, thanks to the power of adaptive learning systems fine-tuned by reinforcement learning algorithms. So how does this play out in real time? Envision a smart digital aide right in your classroom, keenly observing how your students engage with their lessons. This virtual aide notes that Sally crushes her algebra problems but finds geometry a bit of a puzzle. It then tailors a set of geometry problems that challenge Sally but keep her manageable. You might be wondering, how does the system get so smart? Well, think about how Netflix knows you're a thrillers or period dramas fan. In the same way, adaptive learning systems understand each student's learning pace and preferences. What's the end game? To keep students physically present, mentally absorbed, and emotionally invested in their individual learning adventures. Don't just take my word for it. The academic world has been buzzing about the potential of adaptive learning too. While the case studies I mentioned are promising, research is still ongoing. Did you know a study at the University of North Carolina at Charlotte found that adaptive learning helped narrow the equity gap between white and non-white students in a statistics course? That's a big deal. It shows that technology can catalyze social change even in the classroom. However, it is important to be realistic. The effectiveness of adaptive learning can be influenced by many factors, including how it is implemented. It is a tool that is potentially influential in your teaching arsenal. And here's the kicker. Adaptive learning doesn't just adjust the difficulty level of questions or the pace of lessons. It can offer targeted support, zeroing in on each student's strengths and weaknesses. The result? Students are more engaged and likely to overcome challenges and improve their performance. So what's the verdict? Are you ready to jump on the adaptive learning bandwagon, or do you still have reservations? Either way, it's a conversation worth having as we explore the future of education. We've explored personalizing learning paths and how AI can be a supportive co-pilot. Now, let's tackle a topic that's probably on every teacher's mind. How to keep students captivated. If you've had to compete with smartphones for your students' attention, this segment is specially designed for you. Is keeping tour students engaged your biggest headache? The age-old battle every educator faces. You're not just competing with smartphones or the tempting call of the great outdoors on a sunny afternoon. No, you're vying for your students' attention against many distractions, including daydreams about everything from the latest TikTok trends to weekend plans. Ensuring that your students are not only in the room, but also fully present mentally has become a Herculean task in today's tech-saturated world. How can AI transform classroom engagement? Imagine AI algorithms that craft dynamic lessons that evolve in real time based on your students' feedback. Imagine replacing your standard quizzes with interactive, gamified challenges that students can't wait to tackle. Or, what about having real-time analytics at your fingertips, allowing you to modify your teaching techniques on the fly? By embedding such interactive elements, AI can turn the tables on student disinterest, transforming it into a spirited hunger for learning. What practical steps can you take right now? While it's easy to get caught up in the possibilities, it's crucial to stay grounded. Here are some actionable suggestions. 1. Begin with manageable steps. Consider integrating AI-based quizzes or interactive learning modules into your lessons. 2. Analyze and adapt. Utilize the data these tools offer to evaluate their effectiveness, making adjustments as needed. 3. Retain the human element. AI can help elevate student engagement, but the irreplaceable value you bring as a teacher should always be noticed. So, there you have it. We've dissected how AI could revolutionize your classroom's energy levels. What are your next steps? Are you ready to introduce these AI innovations to your students? We've delved into personalization and engagement, but what about prevention? Specifically, can AI help us identify students who might be at risk of falling behind or disengaging entirely? Let's get into it. How can AI help in early intervention for at-risk students? Early intervention is crucial in education. The sooner we identify struggling students, the better we can support them. Early intervention is crucial for preventing minor issues from escalating into significant problems affecting a student's educational journey. It's not just about academic performance, it's about holistic well-being. AI systems equipped with predictive analytics can flag students at risk of falling behind or dropping out. For instance, some platforms can analyze data points like attendance, grades, and participation to give teachers a heads up. Imagine receiving an alert that allows you to take action before a minor issue becomes a significant hurdle. Many schools are beginning to implement AI systems that can accurately predict student dropout rates. In one case study, an AI system could predict student dropouts up to 6 months in advance, allowing educators to intervene and offer support. AI's role in education goes beyond mere automation or personalization. It's emerging as a vital tool for preventive measures. AI is revolutionizing early intervention from predictive analytics that can flag potential dropouts months in advance to adaptive learning systems that fine-tune the educational experience. These aren't futuristic concepts, they're real-world applications making a difference in schools today. As technology evolves, we can anticipate even more groundbreaking approaches to identifying and supporting at-risk students. But let's be clear, AI isn't here to replace the human touch, the emotional and ethical backbone of the classroom. It's here to enhance it. These systems can give you data-driven insights, but can't replace the individual care and attention that only a teacher can provide. It is a tool that amplifies our ability to ensure every student gets the educational experience they need to thrive. Well, friends, we've been on quite a journey today, haven't we? We've explored how deep learning can make your teaching life a little easier by automating some of the most time-consuming tasks, like grading handwritten assignments. Imagine reclaiming those hours for something more impactful, or, dare I say, for a little me time. And let's remember the personal, educational strategist each of your students could have with reinforcement learning. It's like having a teaching assistant who knows each student's academic pulse, ensuring they are challenged just the right amount and not overwhelmed. Last but not least, we looked into how AI can help identify students at risk. This is like having a lookout in your educational journey, alerting you well in advance so you can steer the ship safely for all your students. So, if you found value in today's episode, would you do me a favor? Share this episode with just one person who will benefit from it. And if you've got a moment, we'd love a review on your podcast platform. Your support extends our reach and, most importantly, enriches this community of forward-thinking educators. For a deeper dive and more resources, visit the blog section at aiforteachers.au. For those who love a good cup of coffee as much as I do, there's a Buy Me a Coffee button on the aiforteachers.au website. Your support keeps the gears turning and the ideas flowing here. What does AI have that we don't? And what do we have that AI strives to emulate? Our next episode will explore these intriguing questions as we compare AI and human intelligence. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. So, here's to you, the educators who not just teach, but inspire, who don't just follow lesson plans but create life plans, and who make a difference in the classroom and the world. Until our next deep dive into the fascinating realm of AI in education, this is Harvey Spencer, signing off. Stay inspired, make a difference, and see you in our next episode.